Hello, everybody. Time for another devotion. Phil Rigdon here, pastor of St. John Lutheran Church in Kendallville, Indiana. Today, I want to take a look at a passage from Matthew where Jesus talks about not coming to get rid of God's law or word, but instead that he's going to fulfill it. We also will address where Jesus kind of connects that to the issue of his teaching and how much of it we need to pay attention to. Let's jump right in here, and I will share this screen. All right. Chat. Oops. Let me open that up all the way. There we go. Okay. So this is Jesus talking in Matthew chapter 5. He says, "Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish the law, but to fulfill them. For truly I say to you, until heaven and earth pass away, not one iota, not one dot will pass from the law until it all is accomplished." So what Jesus is saying basically is people have come up to him and they said, well, Jesus, if you're here, we don't have to worry about God's law, right? And we think that as Christians. We got Jesus, so we don't have to worry about obeying God. Well, Jesus is saying, I haven't come here to get rid of the law, to not worry about it. He's saying, I'm come to fulfill it. And really what we can add there is the issue, he's come to fulfill it for us, right? The message is God's law must be fulfilled. And we can't do it, so Jesus does it in our place. So he's saying, I haven't come to get rid of the law. I've come to fulfill it. I've come to do what the law says in your place. All right, now this next portion is very important because it kind of wraps up the whole message today. Not one iota or dot will pass away from God's law until heaven and earth pass away. All right, Romans 3, which supports this a little bit. Paul says, do we then overthrow the law by this faith? By no means. On the contrary, we uphold the law. So Paul's message in this verse is basically saying, yeah, we're forgiven through faith by Jesus Christ, his perfect life, his innocent death, his victorious resurrection, and we receive forgiveness. But we don't want to go down the road of what's called antinomianism, which is basically saying that since we're saved by faith, why worry about our behavior? Why worry about the 10 Commandments? Because we can't earn our salvation anyway. Paul is saying, no, the Christian life involves obeying God, loving God, and doing our best to resist sin. All right, so Paul's reinforcing what Jesus says. All right, now there's a strong commandment here from Jesus regarding this message. He says, therefore, whoever relaxes one of the least of these commandments and teaches others to do the same will be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever does them and teaches them will be called great in the kingdom of heaven. All right, key into that word in verse 19, relaxes one of the least of these commandments. So what Jesus is saying is that, first of all, that we don't change anything in God's word. We don't get rid of it. We don't lessen it. We don't throw it away. We don't pretend it isn't there. So he's saying, don't relax it, all right? Don't go around saying that this doesn't matter. And this is very pertinent today because what you're seeing in a lot of Christian churches is churches are saying, hey, you know what? Our numbers in attendance are down. Because of that, our income in offerings is down. We're going to have to get rid of staff. We can't fix the building. We can't pay our bills, and maybe we'll have to close. And so what's the temptation? That one teaching about, sleeping together before marriage, let's get rid of that because we don't want to scare people away. Hey, you know what? Let's change this about worship because this part of worship is kind of outdated, and let's get rid of that because it keeps people from coming to worship. So let's throw that out, even though it's part of God's word and it supports God's word. So that's the point. Don't do it. Don't relax any of these commandments. All right, Matthew 24 supports that. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. In other words, God is saying is that someday this world is going to be gone. And we are trying so hard to work outside of God's word to ignore his word for the sake of the kingdom. And God is saying, no, don't do it. All right. Jesus says, for I tell you, unless your righteousness exceeds that of the scribes and the Pharisees, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Now, is Jesus saying that you must be more obedient and more sinless than the scribes and the Pharisees? No. What he's saying here is, remember, the scribes and the Pharisees were the ones going around telling everybody, you better be good or you're not going to heaven. So in the minds of the Jews, they think that the scribes and the Pharisees are the most obedient, most God-pleasing people in the world. And Jesus is saying that's not true. And he's saying that you're going to have to be better even than these guys. And of course, the message is, as we know, you can't. The scribes and the Pharisees aren't perfect. I'm not perfect, neither are you. And the reality is you must be perfect to go to heaven. And what's the only way? Jesus comes and he fulfills the law in our place. And through him, we are made perfect. All right. One more kind of tying it into this issue of relaxing God's teaching. Revelation is very clear on this point. He says, I warn everyone who hears the words of the prophecy of this book. If anyone adds to them, God will add to him the plagues described in this book. And if anyone takes away from the words of this book, of this prophecy, God will take away his share in the tree of life and in the holy city. Okay, so key into those two words. If anybody adds to God's word, you got a problem. If anybody takes away from God's word, you got a problem. So when people say, you know what, let's not worry about the whole evolution creation thing. What we need to do is bring people into God's church. You know what, let's not worry about the issue of baptism and communion. Let's just ignore those because we don't want to scare people away. And what God is saying is, no, you uphold my law, you teach the truth, whether people come to church or not, whether you can pay your bills or not, whether you keep your church open or not. He is saying, teach the truth and let God work it out. Remember, I cannot make a person come into church, neither can you. I can't make a person give money to the church, neither can you. How does that happen? God changes the heart. God moves things. So his message is teach the truth, teach it without taking it away, teaching without adding to it or removing any part of it, and trust in the Lord. All right, let me stop that share and just kind of close that up. What we really want to focus on here is two things. Trust in the Lord and trust in him so much that you will not change his teaching or lighten it or water it down or relax it in any way, thinking that if you do so, that God is going to increase the kingdom. That is false. We remember that we trust God to increase the kingdom. He's the one that changes the heart. He's the one that makes Christians. He's the one that moves people to support the kingdom with their time, treasures, and talents. Finally, ending on a gospel note, remember that we cannot fulfill the law, but Jesus did it in our place. He died for you, he rose for you, and he has fulfilled the law so that we are saved not by our actions, but instead by what Jesus did for us. God's blessings to you until next time.